Hi, and thanks for watching another instructional video for CSCI 1300. In this video, we will cover the use of the increment and decrement operators, and as well, we will also cover how to round up to the nearest whole number to avoid problems with integer division, or with rounding problems. With increment and decrement operators, we can increase or decrease the value of the contents of a variable by 1 in either direction, so positive direction or a negative direction. So say we have a number, we have a variable called int num, which is set to the value of 10. So it's an integer, so it's a whole number. And if we wanted to increase this by 1, we could take the variable name and add on plus plus to the end of it. So if we say num plus plus, what we're going to do is going to increase this value by 1 so that it should become 11 instead of 10. Likewise, if we wanted to decrease num by a value of 1, we could say the variable name followed by the minus minus symbols. If we say num minus minus, it will decrease the variable by a value of 1. So if we start with a value of 10, we should print 10, increase by 1, print 11 here, and then decrease by 1, and then print 10 again. As far as rounding up to the nearest whole number, sometimes you will come across rounding problems where C++ will round up or down depending on the situation. With integer division, it might round down and you might need to adjust. Or say you're trying to calculate something such as in this example where you have some double and you try to turn that into an integer by multiplying it by an integer. So we take price, which is 4.35, and we store 100 times that into the variable since, which is an integer. So we are expecting 435. When we do this operation, however, and we print it, we're not going to get that because of what's going on underneath the code in C++. We should actually get the value of 434. So in order to adjust for this, what we need to do is we need to add 0.5 to our since. When we store 100 times price, if we just add in 0.5, what ends up happening is that we end up rounding down again, but this time we've gone up to 435.5 or 434.5, which will round us up to the nearest whole number. So suddenly we're close enough to 435 that C++ will round up instead of down, and since will contain the correct output. So let's look at what happens when we compile the code. So the first thing that's printed here is that the num is 10, which is coming from its initial base value. We then use num++, and we print the value of 11 because we increase the contents of the variable. We then use num minus minus, and num is now back to 10, and we print it again on the next line. And you can see here that when we print, if since is 100 times price, then we should get 435 when we print the cout statement here. However, we're getting the value of 434. And so in order to adjust that, we will have to modify that by 0.5 so that we can round up to the nearest whole number. And then when we print that, we're actually getting the value of 435 correctly. That's all for now. Thanks and happy coding.